Okay, so hello everyone. Good evening. So the today's topic that we are going to discuss is pattern printing. Patterns are nothing but just arranging different characters. Like let's suppose the character is at the rate or star or equals to any character, you are arranging it in a specific format is what we call a pattern, right? Is it something anything other than that? I hope you are able to follow and you are able to listen to me.
Yes.
Guys, no need to unmute during the session. You can just respond on the chat. We can have the discussion later in the class. Okay, just so in this particular session, we are going to discuss how to print a specific pattern in a particular way. Let's suppose I am, yeah, right, Shekhar. So let's suppose I'm giving you a pattern in this way. I'm taking a very simple pattern. Let's say I have to print these 5 stars in a single row. Okay, this is also considered as in pattern. Yes, no. Yes, right? So my question is how to print this particular pattern. You'll see something, you will observe in it, like what are the things being printed, and then you'll write your code. Yes, no. Let's suppose here in this particular question, in your question it was given, let's suppose n is given 5 and you were asked to print 5 stars. So this clearly indicate that the value of n is equal to the number of stars you have to print. Yes, no. Yes. So see, you are establishing a relation between your n and the number of stars you have to print. Correct? Now let's take another pattern. You have been given a pattern. Let's suppose like n is given as 3. And the pattern is this. Okay. So if you see this particular pattern, what are the things that you will analyze and so that you can tell me, okay, I will print this pattern in this particular way. Anyone, any ideas? Okay, some of the people knows the concept of rows and columns. N means number of lines. No, you cannot always say that n means number of lines. What you will figure out here is that the given n is giving you the number of lines here for this particular pattern. Okay, like number of like n here is equals to number of rows, right? Which you are calling as lines. Are you guys getting it? Instead of calling it lines, we call it rows. Clear? Guys, are you able to follow this? So in this particular pattern, what we are doing is if n is equals to 3, there are n number of rows. That is 3 rows. Clear? Now we are not just sticking to this particular pattern and we'll take another example. Let's suppose n is given as 3 and your pattern looks like this. Okay, now can you say that that number of lines or number of rows is equal to n? According to this example, can you say that? No. So what is the connection that you can establish here between n and the number of rows? Can anyone tell me? I hope everyone in the class is able to follow what I'm saying. I know it's Saturday be little active, and I will end the class soon. No need to worry about the duration of the class today. 5 rows, 5 columns, agreed. But Shekhar, the question is, how will you establish the connection between this n and these 5 rows and 5 columns? Okay, I'm getting the answers. Probably the experienced people are also here. So I'm asking to those people who are like trying to get the things in this class and I like not able to get the thing which I'm telling right now. Anyone in the class like that? That whatever I have said so far in the class is not able to relate a thing. Guys, no need to hesitate. If you are going to be a part of this particular class, then you need to be very, very frank to me that, yeah, I'm not getting it. Can you please explain this again? Anyone? I know most of the people are getting. No need to tell me getting. Just tell me who are not getting it. Cool. All right. So here, if you will see the connection, there are 5 rows. Let's not talk about columns right now. Okay. One of the person is not getting. So what I'm saying here is you have been given an input as n, that is 3. And you have been given this pattern that if n is equals to 3, this pattern should be printed. How will you establish the connection that, okay, if n is given as 3, I have to print 5 rows? That is what I am asking. Now, are you able to get my question first?
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, please don't unmute. It will be better. Okay. Now, for now, I will tell you the connection. Later, you will figure out why this connection is and how it is getting established. If you will see it closely, you will find out that it is nothing but 2 into n minus 1. That is, your n was 3 minus 1, that is 6 minus 1, which will give you 5. So the connection here is 2 cross n minus 1. Few of you figured it out, few of you didn't, but it was not the main task. I just wanted to tell you that in the patterns, it's not always like n is equals to number of rows. Okay. Sometimes it can also be like rows can be equals to 2 into n minus 1. Everyone, are you getting the conclusion that I'm like drawing in front of you? Okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
uh, okay. Who was the one who unmuted? Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. Yeah, Shekhar, thank you for that. I already did it. Ram Bhagat, the session is live. You can just go back and see. But right now, what I tried to did, I can just tell you. I was just saying that in patterns, there follows certain patterns, like certain ways or certain rules, you can say. So here I showed you 2 rules. That is, sometimes your number of rows is equals to the given n, and sometimes number of rows is equals to 2 cross n minus 1. Okay. You can take n equals to 4. Let's take n equals to 4 and draw the pattern. It's just like it's simple and better to understand. Okay, so this is the pattern when n is equals to 4. All right, guys. So in pattern printing, I'll just tell you, whenever you are given a pattern to print, just follow this small tip. If you are given n and you are given some pattern, try to find the relation between n, number of rows, and number of columns. Somewhere you will find the connection and you will be able to print that particular pattern. Is it clear? Okay. Now we will move forward and we'll print our very basic and very simple pattern, which I mentioned before also. We have to print, let's suppose, 5 stars in a row. How will you do that? Any ideas? How will you print this particular pattern? System dot, okay, the best way. Okay, for loop. It can be as simple as I just wrote a SOP line and I just simply printed here 5 stars. Why will it take a for loop, right? But what are the cases where it will fail? That's what I am asking. N can be different, right? You know that whenever we are doing the programming, it's never for hard coded inputs, right? It's not like you just give an input and you just code for that. You write your program for dynamic inputs. And hence, you cannot just write here SOP and print 5 stars. Is it clear? How many of you, just give me a minute. Okay, how many of you are not good with this concept of like why system.out.println is failing and we have to write the for loop for it? You can raise your hands or you can just write on the chat box. Okay, so Jyotsna, you can tell me like what you're finding it hard here so I can be more specific with my answer. You can write on the chat box. Okay, any other than her who is finding it hard? That why system.out.println is not working out here and we need to take the for loop. See, we will use SOPLN only if someone told you, okay, just print 5 stars for me. But what if there is a machine, like let's say a game machine, okay? Here you have been given an input that if you enter 5 here, you will get 5 stars printed. If you enter 7 here, 7 stars will be printed. Just a minute. Okay, if you like, let's suppose type 3 here, erasing all of these, only 3 stars will be printed. Okay, so if you have this SOPLN statement for 5 stars, no matter what number you will give, all the time you will get this particular output. Able to follow because in your program, only this SOPLN is being written. That's why we are taking n as an input. We are running a for loop for that much time and accordingly printing the stars. Is it clear now? Okay. So guys, does anyone want me to write the code for this, or will you be able to write it? Yes, anyone wants me? I'll do it. No need. Okay, two people are saying they'll do it. What about the rest? I don't want to pick each one of your name and ask like, do you want me to do? Do you don't want me to do? Just simply say if you will be able to do it or not. Okay, assuming that you will be able to do it, let's move on to the next. The next pattern that we are going to print is you have been given n is equals to 3 and you have to print a pattern in this way. Okay, if n was 4, the pattern would have looked like this. Guys, is it clear? The question, the pattern that you have to print? Okay, okay. Now let's get on to the concepts of rows and columns. If n is dynamic, you all know that you cannot print this pattern at once. Do you? Can you print this pattern at once or you need to find some logic? No, right? So here it goes. Horizontally, the lines are called as rows. So I'll say first row, second row, third row. And vertically, we call them as columns. First, second, and third. If you all know how a compile, how like printing happens on the output screen, can you tell me, will the printing happen vertically or will the printing happen horizontally? If you all are good with the basics of your own languages, can you all tell me, will the printing happen horizontally or vertically? Obviously, it's horizontally, right? Okay, one is saying vertical. Bhuvnesh, can you tell me why and which programming language you are using? Java, okay. So, as per your understanding, is it printed horizontally or vertically? Bhuvnesh, I'm waiting for your answer. Okay, what I'm just saying is, obviously, you know you can't print all the stars once, horizontally and vertically, right? So either you have to print them horizontally one by one, or you have to print them vertically one by one. Yes, no? Bhuvnesh. Okay. So what I was asking is, will we proceed horizontally or will we proceed vertically? And you replied vertically. Okay, now you understood, right? So all of you understand how many times your loop does have to run in a horizontal way. Can anyone tell me? Or better way, you can just say, if I break this problem, it just look like the previous problem where you were printing the stars in a single row. If you just see this part of printing, right? Okay. So for this, all of your logic will work in the similar way. That is, you will, as you were starting for I'm let's suppose starting I equals to 1 for the first star, I less than equals to, what should I be writing here? How many stars you have to print in that row? It's n. And inside this, you just need to write a SOP statement and you need to print a star, right? Hope everyone is clear. Now, Anil, should I write 3 or should I write n? N, right. Now you printed your first row, but you have to do this repeated stuff for second time as well, third time as well, and fourth time as well. So you know that this particular code will print your this row, right? It's correct. Like you all know this. But now you have to print this particular row 3 more times. Is everyone able to follow what I'm saying? So should I just like copy this entire stuff and like write it down for 3 more times? Will it work? Yes, surely it will work because once if it was printing one row, then if I write it for the next 3 times, it will print for the next 3 times. Correct. But don't you think it's getting way too hectic and it is starting getting hard coded again? Here you wrote for loop for 4 times because your n was 4. But in the dynamic situation, you don't know what is the value of n. Able to follow this? Code duplication is a next thing which we have to tackle. But the first thing is it is not even dynamic right now. Agreed, everyone? Okay. So now we know that we have to print this particular line n number of times. So we will again write here one more loop. Is there anyone who is not getting what I am writing? They can just ping me on the chat, raise your hand, or anything they can do. Okay, so now if I wrote this for loop up to n, inside this row, these rows will be printing. So will this give you the correct answer? Okay, I got one yes. How many of you are saying that we'll get the correct answer? And how many of you are saying that no, still there is something which need to be figured out? See the code and tell me. It will work. Okay. One person, I guess, figured it out. And all those who are saying not work because of my suspicion, they should also give the reason. Um, Bhuvnesh, you are saying that now. Okay. Anil, you are saying number of rows and number of columns condition is required. Why so? In this particular example, can you see or can you tell me, is there any way rows and columns are connected together? Bhuvnesh is saying n minus 1 times we have to print. Bhuvnesh, why? The question is. And Ram Bhagat, the thing is, I and j are just the variables. You can also take j as rows and I as columns. It's not a big deal. And Jyotsna, again the same question to you. J less than equals to I. Is there any way the row is connected to the column? Both rows and columns is same. See, row is equals to column is equals to n. What you guys are saying, if I write here, I less than equals to j. Okay, you are saying this, right? I guess Jyotsna and Anil are saying this. Let's figure it out. What will happen is j equals to 1 will come. It will check this condition and see I is equals to 1. 1 is less than equals to 1. So 1 star will be printed. Jyotsna and Anil, please focus here and then tell me if you are able to get it or not. Bhuvnesh, you are right. Yeah, Shekhar, you got it right. But for the next time, here your I was 1 for the inner loop. Your J was also 1 right now. Next time when it will iterate, it will increment the value of I to 2. Okay. And now here it will check if 2 is less than equals to 1. So is 2 is less than equals to 1? False. And hence it will end up printing only 1 star. And it will break from the loop. Next time again it will go and increment J. Okay. J will become 2. I will again start from 1. So it will check 1 is less than equals to 2. Yes, but now the printing will start from the next line. So Anil, now you see you have to print 4 stars in the first line and you ended up printing only 1 star. Are you able to get it? What was missing? Yes, Anil, if you're able to get it, it's okay. Otherwise, I can explain it once again. Okay. Okay. You understand here that J will come as 1. Anil, I'm just talking to you right now. Jyotsna understood, it's good. J will come as 1. I will also start as 1. It will check the condition here I less than equals to J, which is 1 less than equals to 1. True, condition is true. Star will be printed. Is it clear till now? Anil, just quickly respond to my questions right now. Now this for loop will iterate. It will again go up, increment the value, and here it will become 2. Getting this? Now, after it becomes 2, it will again check the condition I less than equals to j. That means 2 less than equals to 1. Is it true? Can 2 be less than 1 or equals to 1? Yes, no, no. When the condition is false, it will come out of this loop and it will start incrementing j. Okay. Now j will become 2 here. Are you able to get this? Anil, are you there? Yeah. So ultimately, you established right now here a slightly wrong connection. All right. The only thing that was missing here was system.out.println statement. That is, after printing every line, you need to change the line, right? So after this inner for loop, you need to write system.out.println. Is it clear? All right. So how many of you want me to write this particular question in the IDE for the basics, or you can say for the start of your coding as well? Okay, one is saying no. Please write. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll. Okay, Anil, what you are saying? Anil, have you raised your hand? Okay. Okay, guys, just give me a minute. I'll just share my IDE. All right, until then, all those who are asking me to give them another question, I'll give you the question and you can just work on it. Second question can be, okay, if you figure this out, the third question is, okay, guys, so those who want to like see the ID part and like the code part, they can just follow me, or otherwise you can just work on these two questions. Is it clear? All right. So here I have just created a class pattern. We'll have the main method. Okay. And then if we have to take the inputs from the user, you can use buffer reader. How many of you are aware of this buffered reader thing? And how many of you are not? Aware of it, not aware. Gaurav, which is your language, that the language which you are going to use for this particular batch, or your main language? Java. Okay, so how do you take the dynamic inputs? Yeah, scanner is also one of the good way to take the inputs at the runtime, and this is another way. Do anyone know here the difference between buffered reader and scanner? Yes, anyone in the class, you have the Java as your major language. Do you know the difference between them? Okay, I guess no. So your today's work is find the difference between buffered scan is from the console. Okay, and what is buffered reader being used for? Here we will write your program. Bhuvnesh, I guess your message is not properly written. I'm not able to understand what you're saying. Scanner is slow. Okay. Okay, so right now you all are Googling it, right? What can be the differences? But it's a good thing, otherwise you wouldn't have. And here you just need to write system.out. Anyone in the class who is not getting the code what I'm writing, you can just raise your hand. I'll unmute you and you can ask your doubt. Okay, so here if I give my input as 3, sorry, I have written J here. Instead of here, I'll write star. Again, try to run our program. And here you will get the pattern. Is everyone able to follow it? You can clearly see I gave the input as 3 and it is giving me this particular pattern. If I give the input as, let's suppose I'll give some bigger number, okay, 11. It will give you the result accordingly. Anyone in the class who is not getting the coding part? Why SOP needed in the outer loop? Sharon, I told you're talking about this SOPLN, right, Sharon? Let's try to remove it. If I proceed with this, let's suppose I enter 3 here, you will get this output. Is it the output you wanted? So Sharon, is it clear to you why SOPLN is needed? Okay, great. So now I'll just stop sharing this particular screen. We'll move to the whiteboard again and we'll focus on these questions. We'll just try to figure out only one question today, this one, and the next one we will discuss afterwards. So did anyone figured out what can be the logic behind this? I'll help you out with some hint. You can try figuring out the relation between number of rows. Here n is given as 5 and number of columns. Okay, I'm getting I more answers would be good if you all understood what I'm trying to get to you. Okay, so do you guys need time to figure out what can be the logic behind this? Like I'm asking about the remaining people who have not answered, or should I just write the code right now? All right, so let's move ahead. Here you can see this is your first row and only one star is getting printed. Or you can say only one column is here. Here, this is your second row and only two stars are getting printed. In a better way, two columns are getting printed. Same goes with the third row, three columns or three stars. Fourth row, four stars. Fifth row, five stars. Now, can you find the relation? Row number is increasing. Nice. 1 to n. Okay. And with the row numbers, number of stars are also growing, right, Bhuvnesh? Yes. So initially, as you all know, our first loop is always for the rows. So our rows will start from 1, it will go till n and I plus plus. What about the second loop? How are we printing our columns? Or how are we printing our individual row? Can anyone tell me that? Based on rows. So here let's suppose from where it should start. Obviously, there is the starting is from 1 star and then it is growing. So j is equals to 1. J is less than and equals to Bhuvnesh, y I plus 1. You can simply write here j is less than or equals to I, right? And j plus plus. Okay. And then should I write here SOP or should I write here SOPLN? SOP, stars should be printed. And then should here SOPLN be written? Yeah, right. It should be. And there you close your first for loop. Is it clear to everyone what I said? Yes. Okay. Any doubts? I'm amazed. Okay, let me just give you the chance to unmute now. Yeah, Vaibhav, do you have any doubts? Vaibhav Sharma, do you have any doubts? Okay, so does anyone else in the class have any doubts? You can just unmute and ask. Can you share the course content? Okay. Okay, that will be shared. Yeah, there was someone who was unmuting himself. I just couldn't hear you. Your voice is very feeble, Yuvraj.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Like, which version of Java will be using in the class?
Yuvraj, your voice is breaking. No, Yuvraj, I guess you need to check your connection. Yeah, sure, Sharon. I can explain it once again. What I was just trying to explain here is try to find the connection. This is the first line you are printing, and how many stars you are printing here? If you want, you can unmute also and we can have the discussion. It will be better.
1 star.
1 star. For the second line, how many stars we are printing?
2.
And it continues for all the lines, right?
Yes.
So you are clear with what is this first for loop
Yeah, it is for the rows.
for the number of lines or for the number of rows, correct? And they are n. You can see here total 5 number of rows are here and n was also 5.
Correct.
Clear? Now
Yes.
inner loop has to figure out how should I print for the first row 1 star, for the second row 2 stars, for the third row 3 stars. Okay, this is the task now.
Correct.
Correct. What is the minimum number of star a row can have?
One.
1. So our next for loop is starting with
One.
1. Now there is a connection, right? If this is your first row, the number of star is 1. If this is your second row, the number of star is 2. Correct?
Two. Yeah.
And that's why here j is less than and equals to I, which is nothing but number of row. Are you able to follow this?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
know in your previous, like in the previous example, what we were doing, this was the example. We wrote here, like for the first loop, we wrote I less than equals to n, j also less than equals to n. Why? Because it was printing exactly n stars, right?
Correct.
But here it is not printing n stars. Here it is printing the stars according to the row. Clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Any other doubts?
No. No. I cleared.
Okay. Yes, Devendra, it's very basic because these are the demo sessions. After a week, we will go on or proceed to the main course. Okay. Yes, guys, like I am done on my end for today. It's Sunday. I won't bore you much today with the session. If any one of you have any doubts regarding the session, timings, etc., etc.
This
Okay, I've
Yuvraj
the
here. Can you hear me, madam?
yeah. Was it?
Yuvraj here.
Yeah, Yuvraj, I'm able to hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Yeah. Which version of Java will be using in the for this program, madam?
Java 8, you can expect it's the very basic and like commonly available version.
Java 8. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
I guess this is what you want, Ram.
Yeah, and also before that, at the top, there was a star kind of thing. Much before that, It-
Is this the one?
yeah, n equal to 4.
Yeah, you can take it.
So I don't know what's the logic for this n equal to 3 and n equal to 4. And if I'm understanding correctly, supposing n equal to 3.
Mm-mm. Ram, don't reveal it in the class. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we will discuss this particular question. You can just check it if you are going right or wrong. Okay. Just keep the solution with you right now.
Okay.
Debendra, it's for both freshers who are willing to like go into the product based companies as a fresher and experienced guys who are looking for the switch into the product based companies. Yes, Bhuvnesh, do you want to ask something? Shraddha,
Yeah.
Venkata.
Can you share the syllabus? Last we didn't get.
Yeah, Bhuvnesh, actually, I didn't ping the admin people yesterday. I'll ping them today and they'll share you the syllabus.
Okay. And can
Yeah,
you,
Yeah.
yes. Can you please share that Eclipse of yours? That program listening to the developers.
Actually, Bhuvnesh, what's the problem right now? We are not connected via some groups or all because right now the demo sessions are going on. So once you all are enrolled into the batch, then we can share each and every content. Okay. So right now you can expect the syllabus, but the other things will be shared after you are enrolled. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Yeah, Venkata. Venkata, do you want to say something? Or Shraddha, do you want to say something? Anshul Gupta, yeah.
Best practice means if someone is asking the program,
Your voice is feeble, Anshul, very feeble.
hello, now am I audible?
No, Anshul, can you be little louder?
Yeah, hello. Now,
Uh, yeah, it's better. Okay, you can say.
what is the best practice means? Should I have to take the scanner or buffer reader?
It completely depends. Yeah, you can either use scanner or the buffered reader. It's just just a minute. As someone pointed out, buffered is something which is little faster and scanner
Yes,
is little slow.
yeah, that is
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
But if then which situation I have to take the buffer reader or the scanner?
For practice purpose, you can if you want to take someone take something into the flow, then you can start using the buffer reader. It will be better. Course content will be shared, Hussein. Sharon, recording of this class, it is live. You can get it on the YouTube. Can you please drop your LinkedIn profile? No. Shekhar, I don't share my LinkedIn profile. So yeah. Shraddha, do you want to ask something? Guys, if anyone has any questions right now, they can ask, or else I'll just close the session for today. And tomorrow, 8 p.m., again, we have the session. For all the demo classes till Friday, I'll pick different subjects so that if the new joiners are coming in or they are entirely new to the batch, they can also get the content. So tomorrow I'm going to pick the subject as array. So don't just get blank that what is happening. Yesterday we were learning pattern printing and today it's array. It's like entirely new topics for this entire week, and from the next week onwards we'll get onto the track with the syllabus. Okay, Devin, that will also be given to you by tomorrow. Does anyone else has any other questions, or can I just close the session?
Can you please show the other two questions? We will just try.
I guess there is just one question because the other one we solved. This was the one question.
Yeah.
For the second question, the in between elements is blank like that.
You can
Yeah,
figure it
second
out.
question. I have to
Yeah,
check.
you
Okay.
can figure it out. Anil, I didn't get your question, which ID you're talking about. And Prashant, you can just contact the admin people regarding this if they can avail you the recordings. IDE, okay. Let me share. Hope you are able to see. Yes, yesterday's video is available on YouTube. Okay, then if you guys have no doubts, then I'll just close the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a nice day. Ram Bhagat, which email ID you are saying? I guess he left. Okay. Okay, that will also be shared in like when the session will become like you all are enrolled for the session that that will be available to you. Okay, thank you.